Well, we are still in this game, but thank you, patient viewers, for waiting for this to get up. We've been working very hard and are very happy to be here, bring you the action direct from Bern. Again, I'm Stefan Rapazzo here with Benji Reese, bringing you the elite invite action as that pull from Ranelagh sails out of bounds.
One bad pull deserves another, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a few sail out that sideline now. Don't you worry, there is a fair bit of this action that has been recorded and you will be able to watch it back, though we didn't get it live to you from Double Zeros. It is available to watch after this game, but again, we're happy we're here with you live as Josh Keim and Chevron open up on another offensive possession. They have been very smooth so far in this game. Hodgett goes to Criddle. Ooh, and McCreary gets a little piece of that, I believe, as the throw goes to ground and counts as a turnover, and Ranelagh will look the other way for a break.
It's the first turnover we've seen this game from Chevron's O-line.
McCreary goes for Jones straight away, but overshoots him and gives it straight back. McCreary missing the back end of his hair, no mullet this time around.
I think for everyone's benefit.
And Colt Hammer winds up Burak there all sorts of time. Now he needs the cavalry. They go for a switch and a slip, thankfully, or that would have been a very early score, but that comes one throw later. Chevron cash in that one to the 26 shirt of Andrew Sweetnam. And we maintain a game on serve.
Missed opportunity there for Ranelagh, really. I appreciate that you're not necessarily going to be able to punch in every turnover that you earn, but to give it back so quickly and so almost ineffectively, which sounds weird because obviously you turn it over, it's ineffective, right? But a little bit limply, and then good recognition there by Chevron, getting it back in play quickly. The bomb from Colt Hammer. Burak again streaking behind Ranelagh players, and then they picked it up immediately to stop the, just the simple pop in for the score. But Chevron really flooded downfield, and Hodgett finds Sweetnam to level us up at 5s.
Looks like we've got a timeout on the field as well. Taking a little break out there. We'll stay with you for this timeout since we didn't get to be with you at the start of the game here.
Tell me more about the elite invite, Steph.
Well, the elite invite, again, the top 8 teams, 3 divisions, top 8 finishers, in most cases from the EUCF final last year in Kaorle are here. The qualification awards that come with this are the top 2 finishers in each division will qualify automatically or immediately, if you will, for the EUCF later this year from Poland. But there's a few wrinkles to that as well, aren't there, Benji?
Yes, if the finalists have already claimed their golden ticket to EUCF by winning one of the spring invites, well, you don't get 2 bids. What happens is it goes to the runner-up at that tournament. So in the open division, if 3SB were to make the final, then the runner-up in Padova, which would be CUS Padova Barbara Stry, would take the bid. In women's, if Shout make the final, East Block get a ticket, and in mixed, if Disconnection get it, then Lemmings will find themselves at EUCF.
So 3 teams at home right now with 3 teams to cheer for. Right now, we got ourselves stuck into a great game, 5-5 on serve. A wonder about the Chevron kits. They are O'Neill's. They've got a 4-year deal with O'Neill.
Oh.
As I've just found out from Matt Bevan. As I also found out, they've got a home clubhouse now, and they are officially from Birmingham. Corcoran and Ranelagh setting sail, the defending champs.
I'm just amazed to see Chevron all wearing matching kit for a change.
They look good. I'm not sure about the shorts with the side stripes, but they seem to like them, so we'll let them have them. Corcoran to Keenan. Playing out of their own end zone. back to match defense. They opened up this game quite effectively playing zone. They didn't get a break, but did get a turn and really slowed down the Ranelagh offense, but now into a match. Corcoran gets to Shane Doyle, goes straight up line to Luke Doyle. Back to Shane Doyle as he engages Corcoran, and well defended in the backfield. He gets it on a second step, and then to Shane Doyle again. Ooh, low, but picked up there. Micklem. Shane Doyle, nice quick release backhand to give and go. And Micklem gets a gainer finally there after a two-player game, and Rogers to Doyle for the goal. Ranelagh continues to dictate the pace, holding on serve, and they're up by 1, 6-5.
Just when you think you haven't seen Ferdia Rogers for a while on a possession, he pops out outside the end zone and gets the assist. Of Ranelagh's 6 goals, he's thrown 2 of them and caught 3 of them. That's effectiveness right there. Just kind of shuttling back and forth. Micklem had to go to ground to save 1 disc. He's done that a couple of times already this game. But otherwise, Ranelagh just, I think because a lot of these cuts, they're quite short and snappy. What they're doing is they're forcing a lot of changes of direction out of the Chevy defenders. And not for the first time today, we've seen a couple of slip-ups on players, and I think that's partly because early in the morning there's quite a lot of dew on the beautiful grass fields here in Bern, and that means that players are losing their footing, and if you can take advantage of that, it's a powerful tool.
No doubt. Get the right cleats for the surface perhaps. Maybe this calls for some Tokais, Benji.
I mean,
get them on your feet.
I've heard nothing but good things about them.
Ain't that the truth? So this game waiting for its first break still. We do see Ferdia Rogers here, even though he was not originally on the roster. We do not see Sam Murphy here, who is all over the comments, but was not on that, what was originally on that roster. So we've got that all straightened up now. So one talisman here, the other not. Now Criddle and Chevron. Squeak one through the middle there to Hodgett. And Kime to Coldhammer. Coldhammer leads nicely to Spears, and Chevron's offense looking very smooth each time of asking.
Honestly, both offenses seeming kind of unflustered, which, especially early season tournaments, I know that it's Elite Invite, it's a big deal, right? But it is early in the season. You know, neither of these sides really have played any tournaments coming into this. A lot of the Ranelagh lads would have represented Island Open at Tom's tourney, but it's the first kind of major tournament of the year for Chevy. And neither of them really look like they've missed a beat, to be honest. Like, often you think early season, there's going to be some offensive miscues. You bring new players in, you work a couple of things out. Nope, it's pretty much back where we left off in Coyote back in October.
Very, very tidy stuff for these two outfits this early in the season. Very tidy kits. Championship team versus the long-standing, I was going to say long-standing powerhouses of European Ultimate of Chevron. And
Chevy, I think they tend to a little bit of a gatekeeper, where if you want to be that consistent semi-finals contender, like, you have to go through Chevron at some point. They're always kind of lurking around the semis, the quarterfinals, but haven't kind of ascended to that next level since they won the big one, EUCF, back in 2011.
And that was against who again, Benji? Tell us about that.
Against the Swedish giants, Skogstad.
So a great pedigree, great history to this Chevron Action Flash team. Now they're looking to get back into that old championship form and get a few monkeys off their back on the way. For now, Corcoran and Ranelagh trying to maintain their offensive efficiency, going through the middle to Luke Doyle and straight back to Corcoran. There's a D for Matt Bevan, steps through in the zone, and wide around. Here is a break chance for Chevron. Turner goes wide and around. Penny gets another gainer there. Thompson centers to Bevan. Bevan waiting for a cut. Great cutting work there by Allen. Finally gets some space, and Bevan again. 2 hands on it. Save his houses for the break. Bounces off the hands, off the face, and to the ground. There is a call on the field.
Yeah, it was really trying to jam it in the jam hole right in that front corner of the end zone to Espinosa, or Pepe as he is known. I must admit, from the angle I'm at, did not get a good view of how much contact there might have been.
Nor I. I thought it bounced off of his hands and his face. Whether he was contacted or not seemed like one that should have been caught. So there's always that needs some of that internal assessment. Yes, maybe I did feel something, but was that what caused the drop?
It's always tricky as well because he's really firing that flick into the front corner of the end zone there. Maybe you'd be better off going with that offhand backhand that's got a little bit more finesse, or, I mean, I know it's windy, but maybe even a push pass.
It does look like it's back in the hands of Matt Bevan. So it looks like it is a contested foul if it's going back to the thrower. You talk about the push pass. I remembered a very similar spot on the field from Tom's tournament. That's where Simone Gasperini threw that push pass. And now it has gone back into the hands of Espinosa.
So it must be an accepted foul.
There it is. Espinosa on the line now. Let's see what this amounts to. 1 completion. Now they go wide and around. Turner from the center of the field to Penny. Still looking for this first break of the game. Will it be there? Oh, a great defensive effort to shut down the throw. The hand dropped by Keenan and prevented what could have been a scoring throw there. Great defense by Keenan.
Yeah, you can see they're trying to isolate Espinosa at the front of the end zone.
Wide and around. Allen dropping back about 15 meters now, fakes everything, and then gives a scuba and gives it straight back. There goes that beautiful break chance.
That is a wonderful red zone stand from the lads.
From their goal line, they pushed him back until that scuba slipped away. Let's see if they go the whole length on the second time of asking. Big one, requires a play. Gotta play. Bevan said no and picked it straight out of Micklum's hand.
I must admit, as much as I love one hand, one bounce, it looked to me like it skimmed off the turf and into Micklum's grasp. Just a little bit of a miscommunication there with Doyle, I think.
I saw it the same way. It was nice effort. I like that Bevan was not even willing to discuss that, just picked it up and started playing.
And going to be a substitution off the injury call. Micklum's going to come off. They're going to bring on Steve Jones instead, and it looks like Bevan's coming off for Hodgett. So bringing on an offensive option to try and punch in the break.
Drops back, Espinosa gets the gainer. Thompson, this is the second break chance now for Chevron. So after a very tidy start, we've had some turns up line, kept in with a layout to pick it up. Now Chevron right back on the doorstep for the break. That cut comes good, puts the foot down. Hodgett makes it count, and Chevron break first.
Looks like a pretty effective substitution there. Think about Hodgett as more of a distributor, but again, he's a little bit like Rogers. Obviously, he's righty rather than lefty, but solid at the back, moves the disc quickly and rhythmically, and does have that short area quickness to pop up in those spaces in the front of the end zone. First point in this game, by the way, where we've seen a side turn it over on multiple occasions. Seb Allen making amends for the earlier turnover from the scuba. They're laying out to save that one. And then a little bit of back and forth just outside the end zone. Hodgett's able to steal a march on the defender. A little long jump practice. Tapping that toe at the front of the end zone. First break of the game goes Chevy's way.
Chevy Now, in a game like this where both lines have been so efficient with the disc, that first break, is it going to open the doors for the flood of breaks here, or are we going to see the offensive efficiency stand and they have taken a massive advantage? That much we will see as we lead into the end of this first half. We've got another timeout on the field. We'll take a very short break and be back with you when they're back in action.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch.
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
our
work
work
to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the Ultimate world and beyond.
Back in action now after the timeout. Chevron with that big break to open up the first break of the game and take the first advantage. That one bounces in and rolls out.
I think it's straight out the back of the end zone, and Corcoran's going to bring it to the brick mark.
There we go. Benji with the eagle eyes. Corcoran bringing it up, looking at another zone defense front, a bit of an arrowhead by the looks of things from Chevron. Corcoran to Rogers. Corcoran goes to Keenan, now to Doyle. Keenan again. Doyle.
Transitioned into one-on-one now.
Very quick. I really love a quick transition D. That one up to Micklem, straight in, not quite for goal, but on the doorstep now in the hands of Keenan. Keenan goes backwards to Rogers, straight back to Keenan. Good work there, quick in and out of the hands, and sliding goes Corcoran as he collects another goal and ties things up 7-7, Benji.
You know what that means?
Oh, we know what that means, all right. Galaxy point here, first game of the Elite Invite, and we've got ourselves a Galaxy.
Wouldn't have it any other way, would you, Steph? Wouldn't have it any other way. Lovely clean possession there from Ranelagh. They dissected that defense nice and early, deciphered what was going on. They got enough bodies in the backfield area there to just give too many options for Chevy to cover up the front of that zone. They transitioned into the match defense, and from there, just shuttling it back and forth. There's the break to Corcoran for the score, and it's 7 each.
7 each, of course. Chevron will receive the disc to start the second half.
Yeah, so they're looking for the 2-for-none opportunity here, 2 possessions back-to-back, if they can put this in.
That's the big if, of course. The clean hold, or well, dirty hold as well. The hold, any way you slice it. If they get that, they receive a second pull. Well, they receive a pull. No, they receive a second pull no matter what.
They would, but it would feel a lot nicer receiving it up 8-7, a chance to make it 9-7, as opposed to just having the game back on serve.
Undoubtedly. Here comes the Ranelagh serve. Pull from Stephen Jones. That one trails toward the sideline, but is collected by Kime. Now Spears to Colthammer. Colthammer goes up the guts, takes some meters there to Sweetenham. Sweetenham goes deep. It's smacked by Jones and then knocked away by Rogers. He gets his legs taken out, but no harm done. Straight back to his feet as McCreary picks up and throws into a blind defense by Burak, which he calls a foul on.
Sweetenham, it's always dangerous when you're trying to hug right down the middle of the field and there's a lot of traffic there, because it was good eyes from the Ranelagh players, knowing that there was that potential, got a hand to block it up in the way, and then Ferdia Rogers just to back that up, just to make sure there's no chance of any sloppy seconds for Chevy.
Corcoran to Doyle. He does redirect, even with Burak charging down, and Burak hits the ground heavy. Looks to be winded at least right now.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he just took a blow to the back of the head as Doyle's coming through. For Burak, I think that's not a great play to make, because regardless of whether he gets the disc or not, it's so difficult for Doyle to pull out of that there. So he's always likely to get a lot of contact, I think.
Agreed, a tough one to pull out, but you're right, Benji. Those are the ones that need to be assessed in those split seconds as unwinnable, and because they are they offer that potential for contact, we've got to pull ourselves out of those situations. Now Luke Doyle back in, goes to McCreary. McCreary widen around, has Rogers, but the oversized Colt Hammer was charging down, but he gets it on the redirect again. That wind helped out. Luke Doyle with the disc. Rogers. Doorstep goes to Corcoran. That one for goal, and he does put it together. Micklem, they put it back on serve with a break of their own. 8-7, Ranelagh take the half, and what a way to do it.
And they're bringing on the oars, but I did not remember seeing those last season. I've no idea where they got those from, because I doubt they brought them with them on the plane over. I must admit, for Ranelagh, they knew what a crunch point it was, so you're switching your O-line back over to play a little bit of defense, and it worked a charm. They got the turn, and then having got that, all of a sudden, well, we've got the O-line on, and we're just more than comfortable to march down the field and take us on surf going into the second half.
Taking us in the second half, the break rocket is gone, the break oar is in for Ranelagh. 8-7 on serve with a break apiece. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with you for the second half action of this first game of the Elite Invite.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
July from Nottingham, England, the World Flying Disc Federation's World Under-24 Ultimate Championships. Live all-access coverage, including semis and finals, exclusively at ultiworld.com.
Back in action, second half here on serve, as mentioned, Chevron Ranelagh, as we have a quick look ahead there with some promo for World Under-24s coming from Nottingham, not the ham, as I was calling it once.
No, generally if you want to pronounce things in English, you just try and pronounce as little of the letters as possible.
Little of the letters as possible.
Sorry, little of the letters as possible.
So tell me how you would say what I call Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Nottingham. And yes, I was told the ham makes it even worse.
Absolutely. Same like Chevron aren't from Birmingham. They're from Birmingham. Or Brum.
I guess there would be far too many hams around if we were referring to it that way. Here comes Burak. He's shot deep. That one looks good. Criddle settling under but running out of space. He's out of bounds by my estimation, and he agrees. It looked good early in the flight, but did trail away.
Having had the disc to take the first half 8-7, Chevron now looking at a 2-point deficit, assuming, of course, that Ranelagh can go the length of the field and punch it in.
Quite the opposite of that 2 for none we were speaking of. Now it's none for 2.
They could go none for 2, yeah.
Dean McCreary brings it in, coffin corner, and sets sail to Jones. Gets it, whoa, he tried to catch it behind him, throw wasn't there, hand didn't clasp, and the second asking goes time to Burak, and Chevron do hold to start the second half.
A couple of the turnovers we've seen so far this game actually have just been given back over straight away on literally the first pass. Although that one I think was maybe the second or third. But it's just, it does feel like a waste when you get the break chance and you can never really get any steam going with it. Even if you get all the way to the end zone line and you turn over, at least you've advanced field position. But that time, if anything, they gave Chevy exactly where they wanted it, a few yards out, front and center.
Yeah, that throw from Jones to McCreary just not on. Too far behind McCreary. Catchable, not ideal, but also the hand just didn't clasp. A little bit of air, a little bit of perhaps carelessness on either side, and that went, the result was a quick strike against them. We also see Coach Ian French in the chat, not here on the sideline. He's away from the team this time around. Still coaching through this season, but obviously doing it from a remote aspect for this tournament. That pull short. Corcoran picks up. Ooh, and Keenan can't close the hands on it, and a break chance now. Turnovers have picked up in the second half already, Benji.
That's just a stone cold drop, and he won't need reminding of that.
Atwell comes to Turner. Gets Penny now. Wound up, but the hand of Doyle prevented it. And a lost defender there gives a wide open Hannum. He goes up, and a nice take there by Seb Allen. Thompson gets the upline cut and floats one right back to Keenan, and he gets to make up for his drop, but there's a discussion on the play.
Showed just too much of that disc to the wind, just the underside, the tilt on it too much, pops it up in the air. Keenan greedily gobbles it up, but I think Allen maybe feels that maybe he was impeded from going up as he wanted.
2 turns on this play, just the same as we've got those 2 snowmen on the scoreboard, 8 apiece here. Not much between these 2 teams thus far, early season. We expect a lot of this all tournament long, Benji, in a tournament like this where every team is of top caliber quality. Every team can lift themselves to match whoever's across them here. And being this early in the season with just a little bit less refinement, I've got this feeling we're going to get a whole bunch of tight matches here all weekend long.
I'm with you. Such is the nature of the tournament, as you mentioned, where it is the elite invite, the cream of the crop and the tip of the top, that, you know, it's highly unlikely that you're going to see blowouts necessarily, because you have to be pretty good just to even get here in the first place.
Let's see if we have any predictive value in that sense. I'm sure you commenters will let us know, certainly when we get it wrong.
Which is weird, because I thought we'd never been wrong ever.
Once, Benji, once.
You can have a look at this foul again, by the way. Make your own minds up.
Clipped his heel. I'm not even sure about that.
I think it's been retracted.
It's
or not?
Not been retracted. It has been a foul accepted.
Contested.
Contested, I'm sorry.
Got there in the end.
Back into play here. Thompson with the disc for Chevron. Far sideline to Penny. Penny fakes the backhand. Then a turnover there. Interception by Ranelagh. That was Micklem who picked it off. Now Rogers.
He was reprieved from the turnover earlier, Thompson, but that time he couldn't do anything but find a Ranelagh defender.
Now Doyle gets Micklem coming under. Now Corcoran, but thrown too far in front, and Chevron again. Whole handful of turns here in this point, Benji.
The first section of this game well, pretty much the entire first half of this game was very clean. The second half, I don't know, maybe teams running out of...
As he approaches the sideline, they're going to have a think about this in this multi-turn point. These ones seem to count for more when they last this long, so they're going to have a think about it, Benji. We'll take a little break, too, and be right back with you by the time the action's back in play. My mom and I made a cookbook, traditional recipes passed down through the generations.
They cater very well to modern kitchens.
Our recipes come from all over Italy, primarily from Le Marche in Sicily, where my parents came.
Another point I think we've seen this entire game, and I just mentioned that earlier in the game that, you know, Rogers, it's about the short area quickness rather than stretching the field necessarily, and then he goes and gets a D going deep at one end, and then goes deep at the other end for the score. So what the hell do I know, apparently? By the way, I'm not saying that Ranelagh are a one-man team, because clearly you don't become European champions on the strength of one player. But not a bad stat line for third year so far. 4 goals, 2 assists, 2 Ds.
I've seen worse.
You'd take those, wouldn't you? You'd take those.
Most certainly would.
Put in the hat back on as well, just to try and somehow, I think probably somewhat futilely, protect himself from the sun.
Somewhat futilely. The bucket hat would fit a little bit nicer right now. Freddie Rogers has taken a fair bit of the hair off. He's very clean cut this time around. very serious now as a defending champion, coming back looking the part, perhaps. Here's the pull. That one looking better in a game that's not been shining with strong pulls. Spears and Chevron. Sweetenham drops back to Spears. Gets a gainer there with a knee slide from Hodgett. And Kime working hard to get open, but the scuba goes up to Spears instead. Sweetenham. Shot for goal, Burak there, that one counts. Chevron back on the board, 9 apiece.
That was a lot more rhythmic, wasn't it, from Chevron? There was one slightly dicey moment, I think, and they needed the scuba over the top to get them out of it, but this time in the battle of the two number 7s, Burak just times that cut really nicely up against Stephen Jones. It's partly because they kept the disc right on that far side of the field, so they're being kind of forced in towards this large open space. It means that actually, if you're setting up with your cutters on this near side, you've got a huge avenue down the middle of the field that you can attack. And with the defender on the, if you're not orbiting effectively there, it's just free real estate really for the receivers.
And that free real estate taken to the bank, invested in and counted for as a goal. 9 apiece.
Yeah, games to 15 this weekend, or if you don't reach the 15 by 80 minutes, it's cap +1 after you finish the point. Although, actually, this game's been played at a pretty quick pace, so are we going to get there? Probably not 15 at this rate, which is weird because it doesn't feel like it's been a particularly stodgy contest.
There is a second field with a VO stream, as some of the commenters are asking. Right now, that information unavailable to us. If we can get our hands on it, we will happily distribute. Otherwise, maybe check the EUF websites or social media, see if you can get contact that way. We hope that information is available. As Luke Doyle goes upfield to Micklem. Already in the attacking half are Ranelagh. Micklem zips right into Rogers and for goal quickly. That one looked good. Josh Reed scores and they maintain the lead 10-9 Ranelagh.
Cool as you like. That one was really zipped into the gut of Rogers, by the way. I think that one caught him more than he caught it, and then just feathers the one on the follow-up to Reed for the score. I mean, really bullets that into the tight window. But because they get that disc towards the break side, again, they're timing these cuts nicely. They're not coming too early and thus closing off that space by bringing a defender in there already. They're coming late enough that they can still lead them into that space. Good game, this. For the first game of the Elite Invite, you wonder how in tune these sides are going to be. It's been, for the most part, really clinical.
Clinical indeed, even though we've had a few high turnover points. They have been the more rare situation in this game. We have had, just like that one we last saw, these offenses picking up and marching downfield. Let's see how we close out here. 10-9, another chance to even the score. Colthammer gets the lateral cut and he's gone deep. The cut stopped, but Burak with all sorts of time to catch up and does put another one in. 10 apiece on serve, late game.
You know it's a good throw when the cutter stops and is like, oh no, I've got to keep going, and it still just sits there to be chased down. What a put from the arm of the big lefty Colthammer.
There's another look at it.
Again, that force is very perpendicular there, and it means that rather than kind of stepping out laterally, Colthammer can step forward a little bit more. He's got a bit more oomph behind the throw.
And that oomph Burak was happy to see all sorts of that oomph on that throw, giving himself a chance to catch up. As we say, he did stop, but regained separation and, well, made it look easy. Had that separation, and the throw floated perfectly.
10 apiece. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this, which